Давайте начнем с того, что мы решим, на каком языке все будет дело происходить. Я обещал, что при каждой своей лекции соответственно, непонятно, кому на английском. Тут есть люди, которые понимают на русском, которые не понимают. Поэтому демократический выбор. Кто за то, чтобы я это делал на русском языке? Okay, half. Fernand, basically it's only for you. So, who want me to make this presentation in English? Wow, cool. So, it's funny because yesterday it was Russian and it was completely the full audience asking for the Russian. Today is like everyone is English. So, more hard work for me, more joy for you. Cool, so who I am? My name is Yonatan, I'm coming from Israel. By the way, good shake. Recommend for everyone. Not to work in political, but I'm coming from Israel. I'm doing in my life two stuff, actually. First one, I'm part of the startup called Gett. So everyone knows what is Uber, right? Who knows what is Uber? Riding with Uber? Who knows what is Juno? Who want to know why Juno not operating in Belarus? Okay, I'm really curious, like why? So actually, all the startups are like us, okay? We're operating in the field of providing for the guys that in the demand market, like willing to order a taxi, willing to order a clean lady, sushi, pizza, or any other service, and there's the suppliers, the one that provide this kind of service, so we actually, the marketplace that connecting them. We started with taxis, obviously. Okay, we're operating in 52 cities all over the world. We're dealing almost in every possible technology that exists today. Not with the Kotlin, but all other rest. It's just a cool place to be there. And they also have more than 20 million users, active users, daily users that using Gett and riding with the taxi, and we never search. And the second part of my life, I'm doing, it's non-profit, it's kind of volunteering. I think this is one reason why I'm here on the stage, is actually, I'm doing Android Academy. Android Academy is the place where developers can come, and we will teach them for free Android development. We're completely supported by Google, actually, all our budget coming from the Google, and if you're willing to join us, or one day you will come to Israel, feel free to ping me, I will bring you on the board. So, questions? Anyone? Cool. By the way, feel free to ask any question anytime. I'm not going to punch you or say, it's totally fine. It's more like conversation with you rather than I'm speaking and you're like, oh, yeah. Like, guys, it's for you. If you will not asking the question, meaning I'm like, no, didn't make my point. Okay? So, are you going to ask me a question? Question? Who want to ask me a question? Like, who's the brave one? No? Not at the moment.
Will you repeat the questions asked without microphone? Will you repeat the questions asked without microphone?
Yeah, sure. I will make the life easier to you. Enjoy the talk. Yeah. So what we're going to talk today? Any ideas? Doze? Who knows what is Doze? Cool. Who already faced it in the production? Who did something about that? Okay, cool. So this is talk actually for you. You heard about the Doze, maybe you faced it, maybe you saw it in the production, the weird behavior, and thought about doing something about that, but not really know what to do exactly. You need to change in your application in order to fix this stuff, the weird behavior. So this is talk for you, and I'm going to talk about this, about the architecture, the best stuff ever. And before we start, actually, I want to know if there is any Star Wars fans in the auditory. Yeah, cool. So I'm the right auditory. So I'm huge Star Wars fan. Really, I have stand in my house with a lot of different figures. I was figured out about the latest episode. I built app. We're in the end of the development. So I built the app, and this app is around the episode of the Last Jedi, right? The last episode, the real cool one, not new ones. And actually, it's going to talk about the last moment they call final battle between the Darth Vader and the Luke. Okay, they actually were fighting each other, and then Luke beating the Darth Vader, and then we realize he don't want him to kill him, because it's like if you kill him, we go to the dark side, and if not, everyone is survived, happy life, kisses, hugs, and whatever. Okay, so this is actually the story. And at the same point, there is Han Solo that was fighting with the Imperial guys, and he need to blow the bunker, whereas the whole electricity of the Death Star was maintained. And notice the rebels that, hey guys, you can attack and destroy the Death Star, right? Remember this moment? Who's not remember? Star Wars, not remember this stuff? Okay, cool. So actually, I built this app, and it's pretty simple. A splash screen, obviously, how without that? And you have two buttons: to be the Jedi or to become the Sith, right? This is the choose that Luke needs to make. And if you choose to be the Jedi, obviously, Darth Vader stays alive. Luke becomes the Jedi, and we send to our universe that actually we're not going to kill the Jedi. We send the network request, of course. We're not going to kill the Jedi, and the life is happy. And other button is actually the let's kill the Darth Vader. Luke become the Sith, right? And actually we send the request that, hey, I fucking killed the Darth Vader. I'm the cool guy. Okay. So how it's built? It's really built, by the way. The Gett is out there. If you really freak. No spoilers. If you're really freaking and want to check my code, so it's out there. It has two tags, one of them before Doze and second one after Doze. So we're going to talk about the application before Doze. Okay, the architecture, the naive one, I didn't integrate any complex part, only native Android development, okay, to make it stuff easy. So yeah, it was like changing the pictures. So if you choose the light, Darth Vader and father, Luke and father. And if you choose the Sith, so the request is coming back, and Luke actually become the Sith warrior. So how it's built, we have the activity that communicating with the intent, right? We need to send the request. We can't do it really on the main thread. I hope everyone knows it, right? So we actually communicated with the service. It's intent service, and intent service make a request to the network, to the starwars.com, okay, to notify that actually what's our decision, what's the Luke decision, to kill the Darth Vader or not to kill. And if we offline, okay, it's obviously that we need to support the offline, right? Who is supporting offline here in their apps? Who don't know, have idea what I'm talking about? Yes, no? Cool. So what does it mean for offline? We're not connected to any network. It's 20% of all the time the users are connected, even in the more modern world of the LTE or 4G connection. So we need to support it. Like if I click the button, I expect it to reach the server, and I don't care when it's going to happen. So actually, we're going to store the failed request in the database and execute it later. Okay, and how are we going to execute it later? With the connectivity manager. Who knows what's the activity manager? Who don't know what is the activity manager? Cool. Okay, so we're on the safe side. So the connectivity manager is the guy that's going to notice us if there's anything change in the connection. And based on these changes on the action, we're going to do something. Okay, we're going to execute our request. So the code is pretty simple. We have the UI. It's pretty simple. Set content view, buttons, click listeners, etc. And we register the receiver, the one that actually listen to the result of Luke's decision, right? We send to the server that Luke is going to kill the Darth Vader. We expect what's the result from the universe, from the force, okay? And actually, when we receive the result, we're going to show the picture, like, or it's Luke as a Sith, or it's Luke and the father traveling together. Of course, two buttons. When I click on one of them, I'd actually use some utils that wrapping the whole stuff with the intent, and it sends the Luke decision to the server, actually to the intent service. Okay? This is a pretty simple stuff. Just put the extra the enum as a serializer, send it to the start service. In the service, we get the intent, right? We extract it, what the decision was, and based on this intent, we're actually making the network call. Okay, and network call is pretty similar, pretty easy. We check if the connection is alive, his network is alive, is active, airplane mode or other stuff, and we try to send. If it's failed, we adding it to our database as a retry task. Okay, if it's not, we like sending the result to the server. Okay, to the back to our activity. Question about the architecture. You didn't get anything or completely clear? For who it's completely clear? Is the important part. Ah, cool, yeah. So actually, how will you try the request if it's failed? Ideas? Already put it in the slides. How will you try the request that was failed, that's stored in the database? No? Anyone? Don't hear you. You should say it in the loud.
We can use
Schedule. No, but before the schedule. Like, let's say you're on the Android 4.4 Kit Guide. Okay, alarm manager. More easiest way? Actually, the answer was here. We can listen to the broadcast in the connection activity, right? If something changed in our connection, so I become available to the right, instead of using alarm and like constantly spending time on the CPU and like checking even if nothing is changed, I can use the broadcast receiver with that will receive the action connectivity changes. And then if there's change in the connection, I can execute the request. By the way, Fernando mentioned the sync adapter. Sync adapter also solves this pain, but requires way a lot of work to do. Like requires the content provider, the SQL implementation, and authenticated implementation, and make the whole stuff easy for the developers. Easy is like in the quotes, yes? So actually, we use the connectivity manager. We put our receiver in the manifest, of course, how without that? And we actually, if we receive something change in our connectivity, we try to make this network connection again and send the request. Okay? On the other side, we have the Han Solo, right? Fighting with the rebels, trying to blow the bunker and to notify his location and the rebels if he succeeds or not. So how it looks, we have the activity that set the alarm, okay? And this alarm is sending constantly every 1 minute the GPS location of Han Solo, right? Okay, why? Because the rebels need to know where's the Han Solo, where they need to pick him up. And of course, we need to notify the rebels with the location itself. So this is also done in our intent service, the one that we use to send the look decision. In code, it looks very, very simple. We have the method to schedule the alarm once the activity is open. We use the alarm manager, create the pending intent, schedule it every 1 minute to fire it. Okay, and once it's fired, it's going to the receiver, Han Solo receiver, that one that gets the location manager, create the pending intent for the location and ask for one single location. Like, give me a location, where exactly, and I want to send this location to the rebels. Okay, and it's the same. We send it to the server with the location, try to make the network request. If we succeed, fine. If it not succeeds, we try to retry it. Okay, the same flow. But there's a problem with all this approach. And the problem that before the Doze mode, before the lollipop, and before all the stuff that's coming in the end, actually, this one is going to contribute that my battery is actually will become very late, very early empty. Okay? And I think most of you are frustrated when, like, hey guys, where's the charger? Who have a charger? I need a charger, please. No. Why? Because there's Wild West, everyone is doing something about the battery, everyone is constantly checking, trying, requesting, etc., etc., and nobody really cares about the ecosystem, and nobody really cares about the user. Because if the user without the battery, he can't use anyone, not Uber, not Gett, not Juno, any other app. Like, why? Because his battery is dead. Okay? So the stuff is changed, and especially changed in the Android Marshmallow, and especially changed in Android N, in Nougat. So what's changed? And it's changed with Doze. Yeah, this was the cool animation of the marshmallows. I searched for the long time with it. So what happened? The Doze mode actually happened in our house. Who's using Android Marshmallow here? Oh, cool. So most of you. Did you notice any improvement in the battery? Since you. Cool. So you know why it's not all of you notice it? Because not all of you using the Nexus phones. No, really. This is the reason, because Samsung or LG just screwed it up. And they're actually going to screw it for a later time. But if you're on the Nexus phone, the Doze mode is just working perfectly for you. It's just postponing any possible network service, really. No network request, no GPS, no Wi-Fi scans, no alarms, no things, no job, nothing. Your phone is going to sleep. If I have my phone with a 80% battery, and I will put it on my desk, and after 1 hour, I will turn it on again, expecting to have it same 80%. Why? I didn't touch it. I didn't ask him. I don't need it. It's in the silence, okay? And I'm expecting that someone then send me stupid joke on the messenger will kill my battery because it needs constantly to sync with the server, okay? No, just don't do that. So actually, the Doze mode it's like sheriff in the Wild West. It just came to the game and start killing the services. Okay. On Marshmallow, it starts with there's kind of maintenance window, and not just the started. So the condition is actually the screen is turned off, and the telephone is stationary. By stationary, I mean I'm not touching it. The whole sensors detecting that the device is not moving. Okay, and after some certain amount of time, my telephone become idle. Okay, and this is this is actually the green one. Okay, this is the period when the device has become idle, and with time, the period of the telephone is idle is actually become the larger and the larger. Okay, meaning the period that my telephone is really went to sleep. Yeah.
No, the question was, what about push notifications?
Couple minutes. I promise you. Cool. So what does it mean in this maintenance window? Is really nothing happened on my telephone. Okay, besides some urgent stuff, that we'll talk about it later, nothing is going to happen in it. Okay, this one guy going to save my battery. So it's Android Marshmallow. It was really shy guy, and it took a time till it's going to the Doze mode, and actually to save my battery. But actually, Android Nougat is not shy anymore. It's really cool guy, and actually the changes is coming here. So before, in order to get to the Doze mode, I was need to get to the stationary mode, right? To put it on the surface, not to move it for some certain time. Starting from Android N, the Doze mode will kick on once I'm turning the screen off. So if it's in pocket and I turn off the screen, it's in the idle. Okay, the maintenance window will become more and more larger, and then actually the full Doze mode will come in after some certain time. So this is the difference that actually we have in N. We have the screen on, okay, battery on, not stationary. We have this maintenance window kicking, and then we have nothing, idle. Okay, no network access, no things, no jobs, nothing. Okay, and then we have some maintenance window. Okay, really for the couple of seconds, even less, and then again it's kicked in, and then maintenance window, and again kicked in. Okay, and then at some point in time, it just will go to the full Doze mode. It means nothing is happening on my device. Okay? So do you start to realize actually what's going to happen to your apps when your user turn off the screen. It's going to affect each one of you. It means that you need to make some architecture. It's going to affect my app. Am I able to retry the connection if my telephone is turned off? Not really. Am I going to obtain the GPS for the Hansel location when my telephone is turned off? It depends. It depends if my alarm will fail in the same maintenance window that the telephone is wake up by the Doze mode. Okay? You see the difference? Guys, you look shocked. It's all right, it's fine, we're going to fix it. Don't be wow, what's happened here? Cool. So, when it's turned off, so the Doze mode is actually turned off by a couple of reasons. First one, obviously, when they connect the charger. Okay, once they connect the charger, everything is fine. Do whatever you want. Network request, GPS, alarms, etc. The other thing is actually the real alarm clock, right? We need to wake up in the morning. If we're in the Doze mode and the alarm is postponed, my boss at the work will cry on me. So actually, and other reason is how to kick off in the Doze mode if I need to do something crucial. Okay, so some certain ways to do that. The first one is to set the alarm, okay, with set, I don't remember the name, set and null while idle. Okay, so basically it's actually going to fire the alarm and wake up the device. But why are you not asking me like, okay, I'm going to use all my alarms using this method, right? Why not? I can. So basically, guys from the Android framework, not so silly. So actually, you can fire this alarm once in the 50 minutes. Okay, so if you want to use it and there's something really crucial happening in your app, fire it. Okay, once it fires it, for next 50 minutes, you can't use it anymore. Another option is to use, like I say, I'm the messaging app. And it's so crucial for this user to get this message. Unbelievable. We have to use it. We have to notify it right now. So actually, we can specify in the GCM or FCM. Who knows what's the GCM? OK, everyone knows. So GCM is like push notifications. So in push notification, I can specify the priority to high. And this is something that's going to wake up my device from the Doze mode. OK? Again, right now everybody asking why I can't specify all my notification with a high priority, right? And to do it like, fuck the Doze mode. Who cares about it, right? So actually, again, every single app that exists on the Google Play, monitored by Google, and if you're really using high the priority notification, Google going to get you down from the Google Play. Okay, going to be suspended. By the way, it's done automatically. There's some certain amount of threshold that if the application is passed, first you need to explain why, okay, and then if you don't have any certain explanation, they give you some certain amount of time to fix it, and if you don't, go out of the Play Store. And of course, you can whitelist the application. You can specify that, hey, I don't care about the Doze mode. I want to do whatever I want. I don't want that the Doze mode will apply to me. So actually, I specify in the app the filter that I can ignore the battery optimization, and the user need to approve. You have this system dialog and say, oh, this app is going to ignore all battery optimization. You need to click it, approve it, and then like Wild West continues. But there's a small note set by Google that every single app that ignore the battery optimization is potentially to be suspended from the Google Play Store. Okay, so not really. The ecosystem become more and more and more user-oriented, less developers-oriented, so, and we need to counter it. So actually, what we can do. And by the way, the one thing, the little thing I forgot, is actually, beside all this stuff with the Doze mode, there are some small changes. Remember the connectivity manager that I talked about before? Right, the one that check if something changed in the connection. So actually, it's deprecated. Okay, starting from Android N, you can't use it. Okay, it just won't going to be fired for you. Okay, so actually, there's no way to know if my device is connected to something or connection is changed or By the way, you know why? You know why? No, why it's deprecated? Right, because like if something changed in my connection, even I didn't connect it to the Wi-Fi. I just went from the 3G to the 4G. Every single app, it's like 90% of all apps was listening for this connectivity change, and like I have on my phone about 140 different apps. Every single one of them are working with the network. So actually, every one of them was waking up my phone, it tried to do something. Even if it's nothing to do. Even there's no request to sync with the server, but they tried. Okay, so actually, and everyone was eating my battery. So actually, how are we going to deal with it? How is it actually going to affect my app? So we talked before, so there's no network access, no jobs, no syncs, no backlogs, no GPS, no Wi-Fi scans, no alarms. So how we survive the Doze mode? And the answer, it's complicated, but it's not so hard. Actually, the key is Job Scheduler or GCM Network Manager. Actually, they're both the same. The both are born to schedule actually the work that need to be done when some certain conditions are met. Okay, I could define the condition for this particular task, and when it's reached this condition, the framework going to execute my task. Okay, what's the difference between the Job Scheduler and GCM Network Manager, and why I'm writing together? They're doing the same, exactly the same, but the Job Scheduler coming from the Android SDK 21, from the Lollipop. So I assume all of you are supporting older version, so it's not really an option for you. And the GCM Network Manager coming from the GCM package, okay? The one that Google Cloud managing. So actually it's a part of the package, and it's very simple to use it. And if you are running on the Android 21, underneath is going to use the Job Scheduler to execute the job, okay? Questions? So the question if its API is the same. It's very similar, really very similar. It's small difference more in there, but like in the concept, it's the same. I'm going to show you how to use it, but in general, I'm going to show it with the GCM Network Manager, because it's like I assume it's more relevant to you. But if you're using the job schedule and you're a lucky guy that you need only support from Android Lollipop, so it's basically the same, just named of the methods are different. But the structure, the architecture, the same. So can I move on? Guys, you're like completely sleepy. Completely sleepy. Can I move on? Yes! No, it's not working like this. Really. When you're speaking to public, you need to understand, like, did you get it, guys, or not? Or is completely sleepy and fucking boring, I need to change something? No, it's not going to work in this way. You need to give me some more good vibes that can able to continue. Okay, so should I move on? Yeah. Cool. So deep dive, how to use the GCM Network Manager. And it starts with, of course, Gradle, compile, bring in one line, and the whole library is my project. Then I need to specify the service. The service that will be responsible to execute the task itself. Okay, there's two steps. The first one to schedule the task, the second one to execute it. Okay, so I specify the service. I call it best time service with some sort of filter that will going to be fired by the system. This is the reason why it's exported. Okay, who knows what's the difference between exported and not? No, come on, what's the difference? No, давай на русском. No, давай, Anton. So Anton is right. The exported service is called outside of the app. Why it's important? Why it's not my app is actually one that calling for the executing the service? No, come on, it's a crucial part to understand the whole framework, how it's worked. The reason why it's doing like this is because not I'm the one that schedule when to execute the task. Actually, the framework is one that's going to schedule it, to say when this server is going to execute this task. Okay, this is the reason why it's exported. So actually, we have a filter. So this is the action task ready. This is the action that's going to be fired by the system to say, hey, guy, you're the service that's responsible to execute this task. This is the right time to do that. Okay? And then actually, we create the service. We extend the GCM network service, GCM task service, sorry. And we need to implement one single method. It's called onRunTask. Okay, and we got task params as the parameters. Okay, this is the whole thing that we need in order to execute the task. I made it with some tag. Okay, actually, this is the way to recognize the task that I received right now, to whom belong. Okay, the tag is actually it's like the ID of the task that I need to perform. So I divided it in two. The one is the look decision, right? We need to send it to the server. The second one is a Han Solo location to obtain the GPS and send it to the server. And what is the important part? We need to return success or failure. By the way, there's another option to return retry. Okay, if I failure and I need to retry, I need to specify. Otherwise, it's just a failure, and you can decide whatever you want to do. So actually, what we do, so once at the look decision, we extract some parameters like what was decision, and magic, we're just calling for the make decision, the same method that we called before in our service. Okay? So what's left to do? To schedule the task itself. Cool. So there's two types of task. The first one is actually to schedule one-time task, to do something one time, like send the location, send the network request, and there's a periodic task, okay, to execute something every some certain amount of time. So actually, yeah, it's like very large. I didn't know how to divide it. So first I create some bundle just to put look decision there inside to pass it to the server, the same one that I executed before. Remember, bundler, get task parameters. So actually I put it to put it in the side, and then I maintain the GCM network manager by calling just GCM network manager get instance. And I get the whole GCM network manager. And then I create the task. So it's one single task. It's called one-off task. I call the builder, and that specifies some parameter. First is a set execution window. I think I listed. First it's the set service. Who is the service going to be responsible to executing this task? Okay, what's type of the service? The class. And then I specify the execution window. Okay, why it's between 0 and 30 seconds? Guess? Anyone? It's actually the minimum time that the device needs in order to make the all call for the task efficiently. Okay, so the maintenance window, the smallest one is actually the 30 seconds. And then I specify the tag, actually the ID. For our case, it's a look decision ID when we specify the one task. And if there is option to update the current, if we need to update the task that already exists, request network, this is the crucial part. When I'm going to execute this task, what's the condition? So here I actually specified once you connected to the internet, you have unmetered network, that meaning metered it's the Wi-Fi, sorry, unmetered is mean it's Wi-Fi, metered is mean 3G, okay? So once you meet this condition, fire the event. Another condition is requires charging or not. Okay, so in my case, I just want to retry it as much as possible to execute the task itself. Okay, but if you're going to do like upload all photos that was made for user today, I suggest you to use it when the user are charging his phone, right? Not to affect him, because the big task it's killing the CPU and killing the battery, of course. Okay, and I set the extract, build, and then I just need to take this task and say to the manager, hey guy, schedule this task, and that's it. This is the whole solution. Yes, Fernando, question.
So what happens, like you mentioned that, yeah, of course, if you're, hello. Yes, you mentioned that when you're, I don't know, executing a long task, like, or uploading pictures, you would put, that requires charging your device, right? So how long are these maintenance windows? And what happens if you cannot perform your task during that time?
Cool.
Should we do it ourselves? Like how I cannot wrap my head around it.
So the job scheduler or GCM network manager, I will repeat the question that Fernando asked. So I specify what's happened to the long tasks. Okay, right? I specify requires the charging to upload all the photos, all the long-running tasks, and the Doze mode windows are pretty small, right? So there's two answers. First, once I'm charging the phone, the Doze mode are turned off.
Okay.
Okay? The second answer, if my task in middle of the progress and the maintenance windows of Doze is finished, it will wait till your task is finished. Oh, okay?
Interesting.
Again, but it's not recommended to do the long-running operation in the maintenance window.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just note, you're killing the battery.
Thank you.
Cool. So we talked about that. And the second option, we need to schedule. You remember the Han Solo that's sending the every 60 seconds his location, right? Requesting the GPS. We have the alarm setting. Remember? Who's remembering? So every single 60 seconds, we asking GPS, we firing the alarm, asking GPS for his last location, and send this location to the rebels. So the problem here is actually if my 60-second alarm will not fail in the maintenance window, I will just miss it. Okay? You got the idea? So we need actually to move the whole stuff they're doing to the maintenance window. And who's responsible for that? Again, job scheduler or GCM network manager. So actually, I'm specified the periodic task. I specified a couple things. Of course, the service, the one that's responsible for executing. I specify what's the tag, which exactly job we need to do. And I specify set flex, okay, and set period. First of all, set period is which period I need to do that, okay? Every 60 seconds. Set flex, meaning how flexible in terms of times when it's executed. And meaning that my task is going to be executed or plus minus 50 seconds or plus minus 70 seconds, okay? So I give them the flexibility for the job schedulers or GCM network manager when actually to execute the timer. Okay, by the way, the minimum window is actually the 60 seconds. Otherwise, job schedulers don't know how to make it the most efficient way. And then I call to the, by the way, important thing, set persistent, okay? It's meaning that when my device is rebooted, my task is still there. Okay, my task is still there. I don't need to do anything. Once I specify set persistent true, that's it. Reboot, not reboot, it's still there. It's pretty nice API and see how many things it's already doing for me. So you don't need really to work hard in order to make your app completely with the Doze mode. And of course, I get the instance. Yes.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, Anton. By the way, you need to introduce yourself. You're like the one of the coolest guy in the audience.
Hi guys. I'm Anton. I'm GDG Minsk organizer, and we are nice guys. Android developers join us.
Yeah,
Thank you, Yonatan. But I would like to ask you a question about this persistence mode. Do you know where the task stored? Is it Android database, central database, or it is related to app database? So I need to handle it somehow additionally.
You don't need to handle. It's stored in the app sandbox. Okay. The sandbox is actually the place. If you will go, usually it exists in the root folder, data, and then name of the package. It's called the sandbox. It's actually, if you're not rooted, okay, it's place that no other apps can access. Okay, it's called sandbox. This is actually the whole, under how it's built, like the whole security built on this sandbox. That every single app is actually the user in the system. And it's stored in this sandbox. But it's completely not accessible for you as an app. It's hidden API. Of course, you can hack it and move it once you're in the root, but in general, it's not accessible. And you don't. The magic here, you don't need to care about anything. Okay. Cool. By the way, it's if you using the backup, the same backup API.
Yes.
It's moving with the backup as well. Wow. Yeah, it's really good API, and you don't need to do anything. It's just moving the task schedule together with you. Why? Because it's associated with the Play Services account. It's like downside and the upside. Okay.
Thank you.
So by the way, the whole GCM is the way how it's working. It's associated with the Play Services. Okay, and the Play Service associated with the Play Store. So actually, the device that don't have the Play Store screwed up. So how we can cancel all the tasks? Pretty simple. Go in the instance, get the instance, call for the cancel task, and or you can specify the specific task you want to cancel, and that's it. By the way, it's not going to cancel the task that's already executing in the middle of execution. Okay, it will finish and then cancel all future tasks. So little problem that's hiding here in all my code that I did. And I just mentioned it. Come on, guys. You can't really sleep in front of me. No, you just don't. Think a little bit. Like, what's the problem? What about the device when don't have the Google Play services? Right? It's not going to work. So actually, the first thing that I need to do before I'm going to schedule is to check if there is a Play services on my device. It's about rough numbers, about 5% of devices out there that don't have Play services. By the way, we decided we just don't support it. Your problem. You bought the phone on the AliExpress, don't have Play service, no agreement with Google. By the way, all other apps that coming from the Google will not work here. Not Google Drive, not Gmail. Huh? Yeah, but Amazon, I think they already come to some certain agreement because it really sucks. You can't really use the phone without Play services. So actually, you need to check if there are Play services exist. Then you can free to use the GCM Network Manager. If you don't, you fucked up. And there's some certain thing that you need to take in account, and actually it's cost me a lot of time to debug it. So there's some little bit problem, but because you're here, I will solve this problem for you. It happens that once the Play servers are updated on the device, okay, all the tasks removed. Okay, so for me, it took time to figure out why, okay, and it just was happening. So, like for all devices, once in a time, they updated. You know, the Play servers are updated in the background. User don't know really what's happening under the hood. So it just completely removed. But there's a callback that you can specify in your service called on initialize task, and actually this callback is going to be executed once the update is done for the Play services. So actually, you need just to reschedule all your periodic tasks. Okay? Cool. So I implemented. It's going to send the whole network request and the GPS location to the rebels, okay, or to the force. But can we do better? Can we improve it more? Any suggestions? Huh? Always we can improve, but here it's like, yeah, we really can improve it, really. Anyone guess? I give a cool T-shirt for one that guess, and it already was there. Anyone? Cool T-shirt? The same as mine. I have it one in the back. No? Cool. I already mentioned it. It's actually using the GCM, using the push notification, right? So we have Han Solo is waking up device every 60 seconds, or if the Doze mode is kicked in, every some certain of periodic of the maintenance window, right? And even we don't have new location, or even something didn't happen, or rebels not ready to receive this location, or they don't care about it, we're still sending this request. We're still accessing GPS, wasting the CPU time, wasting the battery. We still will send something, okay? So again, we're wasting the network, we're wasting the data plane, we're wasting the CPU, we're killing the battery, right? So we can do better. We actually can send the push notification when we server are interested in the location of the Han Solo. And actually, this will cause the device to wake up, to get the GPS location, and send it back to the server. Wow, what an improvement. One message instead of every 60 seconds, okay? So actually how it looks, it's pretty simple. You just register account on the Firebase. If you don't know, the GCM, the Google Cloud Messaging, actually moved to the FCM. What does it mean to you? Actually, if you're using GCM, nothing really happened to you till some certain amount of time. And FCM, like all new features, will come to the FCM, the Firebase Cloud Messaging. And implementing is very simple. You just specify the service that's going to handle all the messages they received. Once the server sends you the message, or you can send it alone from the console in the Firebase, you specify the ID of the device, you send it, he received it, on message received is called with all data inside it, and you decide what you do with the response. In our case, we are sending the intent via the local broadcast manager to our Han Solo receiver to get the location and send it to the server. Questions? Anyone? I actually was expecting you to asking why you're using local broadcast manager.